going on, boys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to look at some meta prime icons under the price of 1.5 million. I just want to quickly say as well that I do stream on twitch.tv/NealGuides. My link is down below in the description. And let me know what times you want me to stream also down below, because I'm trying to get a streaming schedule together. But let's go into the meta icons for 1.5 million. Now, there's a lot of, well, a large array of players to choose from. We're going to keep it under 1.5. So some of the top tier players, like, like the Storage Curves, the Dalglish, the Butragueños, they're going to be above budget. So we're going to talk about 1.5 million and below. So if we're going to talk about the first player, now listen, I think you all know who the first player is. Like, I'm just going to type the first letter and you should know who he is. In my opinion, the best value icon in the game. Prime moments for icon. Now, when it comes to Nedved, look, the reason why he excels above everyone is because he's so cheap. 1.1 million he goes for, right? And the benefit of him, compared to everyone else, he's got a 5-star weak foot. To get a 5-star weak foot for a prime moments icon with a 4-star skill moves, it's so important. This guy can play striker, can play left wing, left mid, right mid. He's got decent interceptions as well, so he can also play in that left wing back and right wing position if you put a shadow on him. Decent strength, good stamina, aggression, and good shooting all around. 5-star weak foot, deadly on either foot. Now, with the Nedved, I'll be honest, there is only one disadvantage, is his balance is not the best, but he does feel better in game. I would still go towards a Hunter. That way you maximize the sprint speed and the finishing and the shot power to make him a clinical beast. With a 5-star weak foot, there's not that many prime moment icon cards even around his price range that can even compete with this Nedved. So this is a card that I can say, you know what, if you get him in your team, I guarantee you can perform. You can do the SBC if you want to, but you know what, the SBCs is almost like 100k difference. So just buy the card, pay for him, and if you don't like him, just get rid of it. But I know most of you are not going to get rid of him because he is most definitely a fantastic card. Another card we're going to go with is a midfielder, and that is Michael Ballack. Now, there's obviously Steven Gerrard, Scholes, and all these top high echelon cards, but if you want a midfielder, you need someone that can do everything, and Ballack is one card. Now, 4-star, which is important. A lot of them have 3-star, like Beckham, etc. So I've kind of strayed away from them. But 4-star, high, medium, 6'2". He's got a midfield presence, strength. He's got defending. He's got dribbling. He's got passing, shooting, and pace. He's got everything that you want. He's basically a complete player. Now, the agility balance is a bit meh, and that is why I don't suggest his prime card. But with a +7 boost on his agility, it makes him feasible. I'd probably say either go with an engine. That's kind of what I would do personally. But I think realistically, a shadow or a hunter would be the best for him to get his pace up. And either to get, if you like him more of an attacking midfielder, I would say get the hunter on him. If he's sitting back more defensive midfielder, push shadow him. But even I think with a shadow overall, I mean, look at this card, a complete top tier card, power free kick, power header. That's everything you want. And for only the price of 1.5 million, it's expensive. Don't get me wrong, but base Blanc is around about 900k, so 600k more, but it's still a top tier card. That is definitely a card that I would recommend. So if you're looking for a good midfielder that can do everything, that is definitely a card. Another card we're going to go with is one that was in the icon swaps, a very underrated card. This is probably one of the most underrated cards in this game. It's Overmars. Now, whoever says Overmars is not good, don't listen to them. Overmars has been, historically speaking, one of the best players in the game, and there's 3 reasons for it. Number 1, 5-star weak foot. He's got a 5-star weak foot just like Nedved. He does lack the 3-star. So on the pro scene, you won't see it because pros, they need 5 stars realistically, because on the pro level, it's a different caliber, right? But for only 1 million coins, look at that agility balance. Now, when you put a hunter on this guy, on his base card, he was really good. But this card, because he's actually got the pace and he's got everything, you put a finisher on him, fantastic. 99 agility, 96 balance. He's 5'8". He's going to be so nimble. He's going to feel like magic on the ball. So swift, so smooth. A Messi-esque kind of player. Has everything that you want. Of course, he's got the finishing as well. 99 finishing, 95 shot power. Got the sprint speed, got the crossing, got the decent short pass, got the good stamina. And of course, he's even got, most important, above everything, he's got, more importantly, the composure. Now, the issue was with the lower tier cards is maybe people were saying, you know what, I don't want to play him in striker because his composure is not the best. But the benefit is don't forget, compared to the other cards, yes, his composure is still mediocre, don't get me wrong, but his finishing is 99, so it compensates for that. It should make up for it. As a winger, as a cam, as a striker, it's fine. He hasn't got any traits, because don't forget, this is a CPU trait, but because of the fact of everything else, you can play him in a wing position, you can play him in striker, second striker, cam, a very much underrated card, only 4 million coins. Him and Nedved definitely get the list. I would go with Nedved just a bit more because Nedved's more complete, can pass, and has got the physicality. But Overmars has definitely got one of the best dribbling for one of the cheap icon moments cards. And we're going to go with another card here. We're going to go with a bit of a debatable one, but I think one that's pretty worth it. Now, if you're looking for a good CDM, you do have players like Essien, but they're a tad bit too expensive. But Roy Keane, not my favorite of character. I like his kind of like his no BS manner, but a card that, you know, obviously is a legend. His sprint speed is not good. Don't get me wrong. He's not a good card. Now, I'm not going to say get him. I would say you're better off buying Ballack or even someone like Petit instead, but they're a bit on the expensive side. But if you're talking about more of a budget tier, you could go with someone like this. But it's important to note that instead of getting Keane, I would go ahead and get a base Blanc with a shadow, and he'll be a better card. So in my opinion, if you're looking towards getting Keane, because people are going to say, oh, why did you not put Keane inside? I wouldn't get him. I'll get a base Blanc instead. So kind of put an asterisk next to him. A very, very good player in real life, but maybe not the card that I would choose. Next, we've gone with Ian Rush. The benefit of this card is the 91 card. It looks somewhat mediocre. 3-star, 4-star, nothing is amazing. But when you go to his 92, he gets the 5-star weak foot upgrade. That's what's key. 5-star weak foot, that means he's dangerous on either foot. 3-star skill move does let him down, medium high though. And he's got the lean body type as well. Power header, finesse shot, and outside of foot shot trait, so he's going to be fantastic. Agility and balance is not the best. That is the only thing. I would say either put a hunter on him if he's going to be a pure out and out striker. Personally speaking, I'd probably go with an engine on him, just because I think you want to get that agility and balance up. He is lean body type, so he can play in that cam role. Get that sprint speed up as well and that agility, and his finishing is already somewhat god tier, and that's what I would do if I was to play him in a strike type position. He's got the physicality, he's got the heading accuracy, he's got the decent short passing even without. His 80 is not the worst at the end of the day, so he can play that cam role. Another card that I would suggest, I would still take Nedved over him, but for only 830k, he's an absolute steal. So even if you want to play him on a wing, I think he's actually a very good idea. If you want to play him on a wing, and don't forget he doesn't have the 4-star skill moves, but otherwise he would be a good player. We're going to go with a more defensive option now, and that's going to be Ashley Cole. Now, Ashley Cole has always been known to be one of the best players in the game, especially one of the fullbacks, but most notably now because everyone is going with my fullbacks and centre-back approach. 4-star, 2-star weak foot, but as a centre-back, it's not an issue, okay? Don't people excess over your centre-back's weak foot. Just don't pass on his weak foot if you're that paranoid. If you are, just do a ball roll. You're not going to be shooting with Ashley Cole at centre-back. You don't need to have a good weak foot. If you want, you can place him on either side. But really, really good card. Now, the bit of a debatable one is I would probably go with Shadow. Now, Shadow gets his pace, his defending, and his physicality up. Now, the benefit of this card is it's expensive, but he can play anywhere. There is this idea that you can get Capita, which you can argue it's a better card in some way. Now, the 90 is a pretty decent card, but the actual, the 87 is a decent card, but the 90 is better. Now, the 90 Capita, if you put an anchor on him, you could argue you can get the same thing done as Ashley Cole. But the reason why I like Ashley Cole over everyone is because he's got that agility and balance. And that's what really stands out for me. Agility and balance makes a faster running jockey. So I'll definitely say consider him. What I'd probably do is, the chemistry style that I'd probably go with, I think it's called Guardian. And that way you get his defensive up, but you get his balance up as well. Now, I know there's some things like Powerhouse that are pretty decent as well, but that does get the passing up. You can if you want to, but the way I look at it, look, if you want to get one of the stats up, it's got to be that agility and balance. And unfortunately, as you can see, apart from engine, none of the chemistry style really does it. Guardian gets his balance up, but that's about it. So you're better off going with Anchor in the long run. But personally, if you like the agility and balance, I'd probably go with I'll definitely say Guardian. But it depends if you want the pace or not. If you're playing him off chemistry, I'll say go with a Shadow. If you're playing him on full, I'd say go with Anchor. That's definitely a card worth getting. Now we're going to go to the final two cards that I think are very much worth it. The card number one is Henrik Glassen. Of course, as I said, as an Arsenal fan, and I say many times, brought back very much bad memories when that guy got subbed on around 75 minutes. But a top tier card. Does lack the balance, but I think if you put a finisher on him, he can play that cam type role. And then you put a finisher on him, or even you put an engine on him, he can play that cam role. 4-star, 3-star, which is the kind of the downside, maybe the only downside, but he's still a pretty decent card, 900k. If you're looking for a better card than Larson, I would say Crespo. Now, Crespo is a very much underlooked card. He is 1.3 medium low, 4-star, 4-star. You put an engine on him, he's also a pretty decent card. a lot of these cards, they're central cards, so generally speaking they'll be worth a lot more. Whereas someone like Nedved, for example, because he's a winger, probably the best value of someone like Overmars. So something to bear in mind. And as one final honorable mention, maybe you can get Georgi Hadji. Another decent good card. Hunter is definitely what's needed, but again, he does like the agility and balance. So there's a lot of few cards. In my opinion, if you just want one good attacker, I would say go with Nedved, cam, striker, winger, even a left centre mid, right centre mid. I'll definitely go left wing, right back. I'll go with Nedved. Second choice for a winger or a striker, I'll definitely go with Mark Overmars. That's the order I would do. And if you're looking for a centre back or a full back, I would say go with actually Cole. And if you're going with a midfielder, I would say Ballack is probably the only one. He is a bit expensive, but he might be the only one that is actually kind of affordable. Because if you look at all the rest of the icons, they're all very much expensive. You know, you got players like Alessandrini a bit above budget, and Makelele above budget as well. And you could argue for that price, you might as well get Ballack. Petit is actually not a bad option, but again, you might as well get Ballack instead. Seedorf is 4-star, does like the defender though. So a lot of these have pros and cons. So that's kind of my take on the Prime Moments icons, the best under 1.5 million. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace out.